Welcome to this month's energy forecast. Well, I'm in love with this forecast, and not because it's February, but because there is so much happening. And we know February has Valentine's Day, it's the month of love. But I really, really like the energy this year. It's fast forward, things are happening. It's like all the dreams and desires that we've had in play and waiting, in like sort of on the sidelines and waiting for so long, are finally coming forward. And there's a few things that I want to bring up, super positive stuff for this month, and some things that can kind of trip you up. So I want you to be aware of those things so that you can have everything you want this month. So we know that the energy is very direct, very fast forward, very clear, and fast moving this month. And so it's creating a lot of, I'd say a lot of production. There's a lot of things manifesting into the physical. We're getting a lot of product, we'll say. We're seeing the fruits of our labor. We're seeing our dreams happen. And we're in a time where it's really important to understand what birth or rebirth really looks like. This is not, for me, it's hard to explain it as a rebirth or a transformation, because for me, it's like almost a brand new you. This is not just like taking what you've been through, your old experiences, your old wounds, and kind of mashing them up and trying to make something better. Or this is not like you being reborn but still kind of carrying with you your old life. This is literally letting the old life go. So you let it go, you've graduated, you've moved past it. And what happens when you graduate? If you graduate from high school, so you've graduated from grade 12, do you then go back to grade 11 and take grade 11 over again? No, you're done. You graduated. There's a completion that is really being felt this month. So it's like we're allowed now to move forward and to leave that old self behind in a way that it's done. It's like done, done, done. You don't have to go back there anymore. Your old stories now, carrying your old stories forward would actually be quite damaging in this energy. So that's why it's really important that you take all those old stories and you just chop them up. They're done. That's why I need you to understand that this isn't just transformation. And I know transformation carries with it there's a lot of work, there's a lot of change, there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of letting go and release. This is literally a birth. So this is a birth of the parts of you that need to come forward now for this next phase of life, this next phase in your life, this next phase on the earth, this next phase in this time. And because we've bumped up our energy so much, the frequency has changed so much, it means that you can't take any of that old stuff with you. It just doesn't work. So I just want you to remember you've graduated. Okay? It's not that those things didn't happen. It's that they're no longer of use to you. Okay? Just keep that in mind. All the while, we are being so supported. You are part of this divine matrix. We are all part of this huge grid of energy, and we want to call it source consciousness, or we want to call it God, a higher power. It really doesnn't matter what you call it. We are part of this extremely complicated and intricate network. And so there's all these things happening behind the scenes that we have no idea. And we're really being called again to trust that when you hold a desire, you hold that dream, that it can happen for you. And just because you've achieved one dream doesn't mean you can't achieve the next. This is really important that we don't just play with this. This isn't playing. We're not like, ooh, I wish I just had a nicer car. This isn't it. This is like, what are the things that light up your soul? What are the things that set you on fire inside? What do you want from your life? And dream big. We're not playing small anymore. So remember, your dreams and desires are being heard this month. You are part of that divine matrix. You have the spark of divine within you. So why would you think that they're not listening to you or that they don't want to support you? Stuff's happening so fast. So remember if things are showing up in your awareness really quickly, to not really be, not try not to get overwhelmed by all these things. So I almost look at it like now it's sort of like a feast. So there's so many choices and options on the table, and they're all good options. A lot of them are very good. The thing that you're being asked to do is enjoy this experience, to remember and to trust that it can continue to happen, that it's not just one time thing, that it's not just you get it and then it's done. You have to trust that this can continue to happen for you, that positivity can continue to flow in your life, and that the stagnant feeling, the struggle, and the feeling like you're lost or you can't get anywhere, those feelings are starting to come to an end. And they're not only coming to an end, they're just going to evaporate. They're gone. And so the feast, the most important thing to remember is you're going to be bombarded with choices. So to not get overwhelmed and just enjoy that experience, and don't get caught up in the process. Just pick the things that feel good to you. And then if something doesn't feel good to you, so if you've chosen something and it's not filling your heart with joy, just try not to choose those particular things again, okay? You want to move on from that. It's things that fill up your heart. It's things that bring you magic in your life and make you feel full, loved, and supported. That thing about being birthed. Think about a baby. Think about how a baby looks at the world. Like, it just takes everything in. There's no judgment because a baby doesn't have any background experience. There's no other information in there to clog up the absorption of events and things around them and things that are happening in their awareness. So just take it all in. It's time to let go of the judgment. It's time to look at things with new eyes, with your heart wide open. And it's time to really use your filter of love with everything you see, and to not worry about engaging in processes that you just don't need. Really important right now. Just focus on the things that fill your heart with joy. So there's this good fortune feeling of February. There's this, so many things can manifest for you so quickly. And it's just in a thought. It's just holding a desire is all you really need to do, and things can show up. It's almost like everything you touch turns to gold. It's like magic. But the thing about having good fortune is, there just as much good fortune as you have, you must be in gratitude and you must give. Because the tricky thing about where we are right now, because the vibration is so high, whatever you invest in is very important. So if you're investing only in yourself, so this is only for you, purely for your gain and no one else's, then you're not going to see that reward. You're not going to see that fortune. So the thing to remember is you want the highest good for yourself and for others, for everyone in your life, and for higher good for, the greater collective. This isn't just about you. This could be good fortune for many, many people, but you really need to hold that vision that this is coming from a place of love and a place where you want people to have the highest good. So highest good for you and for others, and to remember to give. Because we can get caught up in these things. And 2023 is a year of a lot of contemplation and inner thinking, and even like your spiritual practice, your spiritual self, like what does that all mean and where do you go with that? And just if you're looking for a place to get information about your own spiritual practice, how to begin to build one, I have a free course on that. You can click on the link below and you can sign up for that free course, and then you can learn how to build your own spiritual practice for you. And spirituality, you have to be a little bit, I find now I'm more cautious because I feel like your spirituality is your own. You make it your own. There's not a specific formula to follow. This is just a helpful guide. But really, we are going to be questioning what we believe in. We may even be changing our whole belief system this year in concerning certain things, and especially spirituality and how you fit into this world and what your path and purpose is. So we're very much in our head. We're very much within ourselves trying to figure out how this all works. And so when that happens, a lot of people, their inner child, or we say sometimes wounded child, can show up. And that's okay. You're being called right now to take your wounded child, which is usually the part of you that has had unmet needs. So you're really being asked right now to figure out what needs have not been met for me, especially as a child, and what can I do now to open up my heart and accept and love that wounded child, that part of me that didn't have that support, love, acceptance. Because I think what can happen, because we're in this energy of being stuck in your head, you can really get stuck in the old stories. And like I said before, that you want to stay away from that. That's pulling you backwards. You have graduated. You're not graduating grade 12 and going back to grade 11. We're not doing that. You are a different person. So now you have compassion. You can open your heart and allow that child of yours to step in and remind your inner child that you are there to care for them now. Very important that you go through that process. Now, all the while, we have so much divine support right now. There's so much magic if you're just paying attention. With this increase in vibration, you can feel almost like the buzziness in the air. You can feel the drive. Many people are starting to feel like, oh my God, I'm unhappy at my job. I have to get out of here. What do I do? So there's lots, or I'm unhappy in a marriage, or I'm unhappy in my living space, or my environment, or my city. So there's lots of this happening. But you have to remember, you're not the same person that you were even last year. This energy now is a birth. Very different from transformation, very different from rebirth. Just remember. So the other thing I wanted to say too is there's danger in being high vibe all the time. Most people know about toxic spirituality. Most people understand what that is. And for me, all that is when you are not allowed to experience your true self or true feelings, and everything feels like it should be positive all the time. That's not really reality, and we can't live in that space. We can cause people a lot of damage by being positive all the time. It's just not, it's not possible. We are the whole range of emotions, and we should be allowed to feel all those emotions. So there's a danger in this high vibe feeling that we're getting all this really cool energy coming at us, this curiosity, but there's all these creative ideas. There's such a flood of choices, and our perception's changing. And so keep your perception larger. I want you to look at the larger picture, the bigger picture here. And I want you to see things for what they are, because there's a little bit of a danger this month with people trying to possibly take advantage of others for their own gain. So what you want to be doing is just doing things that feel like it's right with your heart. So every step you take this month should be for your fulfillment, should feel like it's a step in the right direction towards your goals and dreams and towards your joy. And if you feel like somebody is taking that from you, then you might want to reevaluate how you interact with that person, because there is an energy of wanting what other people have this month, and you want to stay in a place where you can ask the universe for what you need and trust that it will come in the right timing, instead of taking it from other places, especially other people. So remember, this month it's really important to hold your desire for manifesting, that things are happening quickly, and that you are a beautiful person. And this is a month that our beauty can shine. We can allow our beauty to be more visible to others, because there is more support from the universe for this to happen. So if you've been working on something within yourself, but a little bit nervous about exposing yourself to other people or your true self, this actually is a good time. It's a good time this month to allow your true self to shine. There's much support from the universe for that right now. And to trust that that's okay. And your true self is exactly what this world needs. That's where we should be. So if you liked this forecast, if you enjoy some of the things that I said, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my website. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. If you sign up for my newsletter, you get amazing newsletters every month. I spend a lot of time on them. And the newsletter, even if you missed last month's, let me know. I can always email it to you. But I went through some amazing tips for how to manifest what you want this year. So make sure that you keep in touch on my page. I want to reach as many people as possible. So hit that like button and send me a comment if you think of it. Thank you so much. Enjoy February and keep your heart full of love.